Good morning, students, and welcome to the class of English. Today, I am again in front of you, your English teacher. On today's children, I am going to discuss with you the objective type portion from the chapter "The Lost Spring" by Anish Jung. Children, as you know very well, that this year the question paper has been divided into two parts: objective and subjective. An objective part can be asked from anywhere. So as many questions we will solve and as much practice we will do, that will help us out. So children, that's why it is the purpose and the sole purpose of my making the video on this part, that I am touching this part more vividly because I want to make these questions imprinted in your brain. Alright, because means even if these many questions you will do, at least many things would be clear in your brain. I'm not saying that everything is getting covered in this video, but still many things are getting covered. So let's begin, children. So question is, read the following extracts and answer the questions that follow. This is the extract. Sahib left his home long ago, set amidst the green fields of Dhaka. His home is not even a distant memory. There were many storms that swept away their fields and homes. His mother tells him that's why they left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. Now see the question answers. First question. Sahib left his home long ago, willingly, reluctantly, happily, and to live a cozy life. Alright, so read the passage. Sahib left his home long ago, set amidst the green fields of Dhaka. His home is not even a distant memory. There were many storms that set away their fields and homes. His mother tells him, see, so what was the problem? There were storms and fields and homes were swept away. That's why they left and they moved to the big city to find gold. To find gold means to look for some job. Alright. So definitely what would be the answer? Reluctantly, not willingly and happily, and not to live a cozy life. The natural disasters that made Sahib homeless are already given the answer. See, second line, there were many storms. So answers would be storms. In the garbage dumps, Sahib looks for what? If a garbage picker is there, definitely he will look for anything which has importance and which could fetch him money, like silver coins, money, gold, anything. So answer would be all of these. Next question. Sahib's home is not even a distant. Again, let's go to the passage. His home is not even a distant memory. So what would be the answer? The answer would be reluctantly, storms, all of these memory. So answer would be, answer would be memory. It is the fill in the blanks, the right word. So answer would be memory. So children, don't try to use your brain in case of this fill in the blanks. Try to find the answer from the passage itself. Now the second one, I have nothing else to do, he mutters, looking away. Go to school, I say glibly, realizing immediately how hollow the advice must sound. I say glibly here, I refers to. Alright, so who says go to school? Definitely Sahib will not say go to school, because he was himself uneducated. So I think here the answer would be author. Sahib doesn't go to school due to lack of money, school in his neighborhood, time, other good advice. So I think in his locality, no good school was there. That's why Sahib did not go to school. Once I think you remember the story that the author promised the Sahib that he will ask the authorities to construct a good school in the locality. You know how happy Sahib became. Alright, so it would be the answer that school, there is no school in the neighborhood. The author advises Sahib to go to school. How? In a serious mood, insincerely, forcefully, unwillingly. So, if you remember the story, just go and check these lines. So, you will find out that the author was not at all sincere while giving this advice that go to school. Just like that, he said to Sahib, go to school. Alright, he had no desire or hope that the school would get constructed. Just for time pass, something like that, author said to Sahib, go to school. Without even considering his actual economic and social condition. The author realizes that her advice must sound definitely hollow, because it was not possible for Sahib to go to school. Whatever he used to get in the garbage, he used to sell in the market, and that helped him fetch food for his family. Next extract. If I start a school, will you come? I ask, half joking. Yes, he see whatever I discussed in the extract number 2, it has come in this, because I think these lines are just after the lines which we discussed in extract number 2. If I start a school, will you come? I ask, half joking. So it means the author is not serious. Yes, he says, smiling broadly. See how enthusiastic Sahib was when he was asked that will he come to school, but author was joking, exactly half joking. A few days later, I see him running up to me. Is your school ready? It takes no longer to build a school. I say, embarrassed at having made a promise that was not meant. So when Sahib asked, is your school ready? Author was embarrassed because he made a false promise. Now, questions. If I start a school, will you come? By asking this question, the author wants to help Sahib to start his study, build a school in his neighborhood, motivate him, know if Sahib has willingness to study. So actually the answer would be, he wanted to know if Sahib is willing to study. Otherwise, a rag picker would not like to go to school. He enjoys the life of rag picking, even though he does not know his future. From the above extract, it can be concluded that Sahib has a strong desire to study, Sahib does not have interest in study, Sahib evades going to school, none of these. So, it is the answer is Sahib has a strong desire to study. See, what he says when he was asked, will you come to school? Yes, with a broad smile. The author is embarrassed to having made a promise because she does not want to talk to a rag picker. She is also very poor. She knows that she has made a false promise and she often makes hollow promises. No, she does not often make hollow promises. Actually, she just wanted to inquire about the curiosity, but actually she found out that she had made a false promise. So I think third will be the answer, C1, that she made a false promise. Okay, now fill in the blanks. A few days later, the author sees Sahib. What? Author sees Sahib. See, second line. A few days later, I see him running up to me. So what will be the answer in the fill in the blanks? Running. Now next extract. Even if she did, he will throw them off, adds another who is wearing shoes that do not match. When I comment on it, he shuffles his feet and says, nothing, I want shoes, says a third boy who has never owned a pair of all his life. Here she refers to the author, one of Sahib's friends, Sahib's mother, Sahib's sister. Now the answer would be here, Sahib's mother. See, find out, even if she did, he will throw them off at another who is wearing shoes that do not match. Alright. Now, another boy is wearing shoes which must have been bought by his parents, he could find in garbage dumps, must have been bought by himself, must be given to him by someone. Alright, so answer can be must have been bought by himself. The boy who is wearing shoes shuffles his feet for. This is perhaps his habit. His feet are dirty. He wants the author to notice his unmatching shoes. He does not want the author to notice his unmatching shoes. So I think the second answer would be he has got the shoes bought by his parents, but his parents bought unmatched pair, means one shoe another and second shoe another. So that boy does not want the author to notice his unmatching shoes. That's why he shuffles his feet. Alright, so third will be the answer. A third boy has never worn what? Definitely we are talking about shoes, so answer would be shoes here. Next extract, let me never lose them. The goddess had granted his prayer. Young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes, but many others like the ragpickers in my neighborhood remain shoeless. Alright? So, let me never lose them. Alright? The goddess had granted his prayer. Young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes. See, priest, earlier they were very sacred people, and they used to give education, and generally priests did not wear the shoes. But nowadays they are also wearing shoes. Alright, so here them refers to young boys, priests, shoes, temples. So let me never lose them. So what they were afraid of losing? That is shoes, not priests, temples and young boys. The goddess had granted his prayer. His prayer was for, definitely topic is about shoes, so answer would be a pair of shoes, not a very big house, not good clothes, not a car, because they knew that it is out of their reach. 30 years later, the author finds that the status of our country remains the same, has worsened, has improved, none of these. So I think after 30 years, author notices that the situations have improved, not to that level, not to that extent, but a little bit. A change has come in the condition of the people. Now, many poor people in our country are still unable to own or buy shoes. Clear? So that will be the answer. Okay, children. So now I'll deal with the next question. So this is the extract. My acquaintance with the barefoot rag pickers leads me to Simapuri, a place on the periphery of Delhi, yet miles away from it, metaphorically. Those who live here are squatters who came from Bangladesh back in 1971. Sahib's family is among them. So first question is, what makes the author visit Simapuri? Simapuri is being on the periphery of Delhi. Squatters from Bangladesh live there. Her acquaintance with the barefoot rag pickers and Sahib's family live there. So it's the answer given in the first line. The acquaintance with the barefoot rag pickers. Simapuri is yet miles away from Delhi, metaphorically, as it is on the periphery of Delhi. Those who live here are squatters. Those who live here are from Bangladesh. It is still in absolutely poor condition. So the answer would be, it is still in absolutely poor condition. That's why the author visited there. Now, most of the people who live in Simapuri originally belong to, as it is given the question, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan. So answer is Bangladesh. Sahib's family live in Simapuri. Right. Next extract. They have lived here for more than 30 years without an identity, without permits, but with ration cards that get their names on the voters lists and enable them to buy grain. Food is more important for survival than an identity. Here they refers to. All rackpickers in Delhi, squatters from Bangladesh, all poor people living in Delhi, Sahib and his family. So, children, here we are only focusing on the people, those who live in Singapore, and they are the squatters from Bangladesh. So, answer would be squatters from Bangladesh. They have no identity, but still they lived in Delhi for more than 30 years because they get all facilities in Delhi. Food is more important for survival than identity. They cannot live at peace other than Delhi. They do not require the identity in Delhi. So, children, as it is given there in the extract, that food in the last line, food is more important for survival than identity. So, it will be the answer. The squatters from Bangladesh are not permitted to live in India by the government of India, government of Delhi, people of India, none of these. So I think government of India. They have ration cards that enable them to cast their definitely votes as it is given in the extract. Next question, Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange over his discolored shirt and shorts. Sahib's somewhere gave them to me, he says in the manner of an explanation. The fact that they are discarded shoes of some rich boy who perhaps refused to wear them because of a hole in one of them does not bother him. So Sahib is wearing tennis shoes as he play tennis? No. He goes inside the club? No. A rich boy gave him his discarded tennis shoes. So it would be the correct answer. The tennis shoes looked odd on Sahib as he is wearing discolored shirts and shorts. He is rackpicker. His shoes are very old. He is not very educated. Okay, and the answer would be he is wearing discolored shirt and shorts, and that's why the shoe didn't fit him. How does Sahib feel by wearing discolored shoes of some rich boy? Sad, boring, overexcited, happy. So I think he is happy because at least he is something in his feet. There is a dash in one of the shoes worn by Sahib. So I think the answer is whole. Next extract is Mukesh insists on being his own master. I'll be a motor mechanic. He announces, do you know anything about cars? I ask. I will learn to drive a car. He answers, looking straight into my eyes. His dream looms like a mirage amidst the dust of street that fills his town, Firozabad, famous for its bangles. So Mukesh is determined to, number one, be his own master, a motor mechanic, both A and B, neither A and B. Definitely he wanted to become his own master and he wanted to become a motor mechanic also. So both A and B would be the answer. It is given in the first line. You can read. Mukesh insists on being his own master. I will be a motor mechanic. Second, I will learn to drive a car. Mukesh says. It shows that Mukesh is overconfident. Mukesh lacks confidence. Mukesh is resolute. Mukesh is overexcited. So Mukesh is resolute. He has made the resolution that he will learn to drive a car. So C would be the answer. His dream to become a motor mechanic seems to be a mirage amid the dust of streets. Mirage, you know very children very well. The phenomena in physics you might have studied. So he will never learn anything about cars. His parents will never allow him to run a garage. It will be difficult for him to arrange the required amount to run a garage. He is engaged in making bangles. So what would be the correct answer? Because he is engaged in making bangles. That's why how can he be in a car business or in a how can he work as a motor mechanic? It will be very difficult for him. Alright, because he is engaged in bangles. So D would be the correct answer. While answering the author's question, Mukesh looked straight into her. Definitely, answer would be eyes. It is given in the third line. I will learn to drive a car. He answers, looking straight into my eyes. Next, extract children. None of them know that it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces with high temperature in dingy cells without air and light. That is law. It enforced could get him and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours, often losing the brightness of the rays. Question number 1. Most of the bangle makers are ignorant of the fact that making bangle in dingy cells is illegal. Employing children in bangle making is illegal. Making bangle in the glass furnace is illegal. Making bangles in silk without air and light is illegal. I think others are not there. Dingy cells making bangles is not the correct answer. Making bangles in glass furnaces, it cannot be considered illegal. Making bangles in cells without air and light, it can be considered as illegal. Although it comes under human rights, but still it is not illegal. It is illegal. That is employing children in bangle making industry. So B would be the answer. Working in bangle making industry is hazardous as it can cause cancer to the employee, it can make the employee blind, it can cripple the employee, all of those. So I think B would be the answer. It can make the employee blind. Nearly 20,000 children are working in this hazard industry due to the strictness of law, the lack of law regarding it, the laxity of law, ignorance by the concerned authority. So definitely children are working because the law is not enforced properly. The law is lax or easy. So the answer would be C, the laxity of law. Next, children log their daylight hours in the hot. It is given in the second last line. Children out of the hot furnaces whereas log their daylight hours. So answer would be furnaces. A frail young woman is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. Through eyes filled with smoke, she smiles. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Not much older in years, she has begun to command respect as the Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house, already in charge of 3 men, her husband Mukesh and their father. So now let's do the question answers of this one. The young woman is physically weak and thin, perhaps due to the lack of required nutrition, food for the whole family, shouldering a lot of responsibility, all of these. I think B and C would not be the answer because responsibilities and working doesn't make you weak, but the lack of nutrition make you weak. So A would be the correct answer. The young woman is Mukesh's wife, Mukesh's sister-in-law, Mukesh's sister, Mukesh's mother. So Mukesh's sister-in-law. Though the young woman is not much older in years, she is shouldering a great responsibility. Which of the following proves it? She cooks food for the all members. Her eyes are filled with smoke. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. She is in charge of 3 men. So she is in charge of the 3 men. She has to take responsibility of the 3 men. Everything she has to do. Alright. Now the young woman dash respect as the Bahu. So I think his answer would be commands. Next extract, it is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. Can a God-given lineage ever be broken? She implies. Now the first question, for the present status, Mukesh's grandmother holds responsibility to her ancestors, her sons, her destiny, her husband. So answer is given in the first line. It is his karam, his destiny. So C would be the correct answer. Mukesh's grandfather became a victim of his profession as he could not provide proper education to his sons. He lost his sight. He could not renovate his house, and he could not give up his lineage profession. So the answer is given here. That is the first line. Mukesh's grandfather, who has watched her own husband go blind with dust. So Mukesh's grandfather lost eyesight is the correct answer. C. Mukesh's grandmother is of the opinion that God's given lineage can be broken. God's given lineage cannot be broken. So I think B would be the answer because it is given in the second last line. God given lineage ever be broken. She is questioning. So it means God's given lineage cannot be broken. Mukesh's grandfather became blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. So go blind with the dust. So dust would be the answer. Next extract. It will be dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped with the red veil, her hands dyed red with henna, and the red bangles rolled onto her wrists. She will then become a bride, like the old woman beside her, who became one many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. Now, question: Savita will one day realize that bangles symbolize an Indian woman's suhag. Second, her head will be draped with a red veil. Third, her hands will be dyed with red henna. She will become a bride. Okay. So second will be the answer. Her head will be dyed with a red veil. It is essential for Indian married women to wear sari, dye her hand red with henna, drape her head with a red veil, wear bangles. So now what will be the correct answer? The wear bangles will be the correct answer. The old woman has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes because she has grown old. She has to work hard. She is living in abject poverty. She is married to a lazy man. So I think the answer would be she is living in abject poverty. Now next question. The old woman beside Savita became a bride many years ago. So bride would be the answer. Next hashtag, there is no leader among them. No one could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to justice. So the Bengal makers need a leader who can advise them differently, make effort to change their profession, help them with money, all of these. So I think answer would be make them to change their profession. Their fathers are tired of, that is, uh, looking after cooperative, working hard in Bengal making industry, looking for an efficient leader, none of these. So I think their answer is given in second line. See, their fathers are tired as they are. Okay, so the answer would be definitely working hard in Bengal making industry. Now they talk with the different powerful people, but to no avail because of this. Their poverty, injustice, powerful people's apathy towards them. All of these. I think all of these would be the answer because different powerful people are there, but there is no use of them because they nobody take care of their poverty, injustice is there, powerful people apathy is there towards them. So all of these would be the answer. Their fathers are as dead as they are. So answer would be tired. It is given a second line. See, their fathers. So children, these were some MCQs which were of the chapter Lost Spring. And here we have discussed questions related to Sahib as well as Mukesh. And now I hope you would be having a question bank of this chapter of the objective type questions. And I hope that you will take benefit of this video and all the other videos which have come and which will come in near future. All right. So keep working hard and don't lose hope for the board exams. You will score nicely if you work systematically and with a proper time management. Alright children, so till my next video, thank you and goodbye.